Greetings, fellow Golgari drinkers. My name is the Tireless Rocker. If you love unfair, OP, interactive Storm, KCI Tron pieces of beep, you came to the wrong place. I'm going to release 2 videos every Friday morning. Please like this video and subscribe. It'll really make my day. Here we go. So, how's everyone doing today? We are going to be doing a deck tech video for the Tireless Rock deck. Post Throne of Eldraine. The date today is September 24, 2019. All the spoilers have been released. So, let's go through the deck. The way I'm going to structure this video is based on the Grim Flare list. Please look this channel up on YouTube. It's going to be in the link. And he is my favorite YouTuber for Golgari Midrange. And he actually explains his choices very well for everything. So I don't want to say the same things he's saying. But I'm going to have my own take on this deck list. And I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing different from the Grim Flare. And the things that I'm doing the same as the Grim Flare, you can assume have the same reasons. So let's start it off. What is different? What is different? Let's take a look. Number 1, I decided not to play any Hissing Quagmires. And instead, I'm going to play, here's a document I made, differences from Grim. -1 Quagmire and +1 Treetop Village. Okay? So let's take a look here. We're going to play 2 Treetops Village in our list instead. And the reason for this is I find that with mana sinks such as Hex Drinker and Tireless Tracker Clues and kind of our higher curve recently, and Murderous Rider of the 2 modes, I think it's better to have a land that doesn't need as much investment. And also, I find that Planeswalker is very hard to deal with in our deck. And the Treetop hitting for 3 and Trample is more relevant more of the time than the Death Touch. Death Touch is usually good against decks that have big creatures, such as Death Shadow and the Eldrazi Tron guys. But anyways, another reason that I think that Treetop is good in our list, 1 extra Treetop, is because we are also playing, just like Grim Flare's list, we're playing Urborg. So it feels good when you're tapping a Treetop for black. But the reason why Hissing Quagmire costs more and has more downsides is because it also taps for black. But because we have Urborg, I feel it's okay to have more Treetops, and I might even run 3 in the future. So let's move on to the next one. So I have decided to play, this is kind of unconventional, but I am going to play 3 Lilianas. The reason is I'm kind of different in my way of thinking about main board cards and thinking about cards in multiple. I always feel that Modern is a format with so many card choices that if a card is bad in multiples, don't play too many. So imagine you're taking up a Lily to 5 and you draw another Lily. Wouldn't it have been better to top deck maybe a Goyf or a creature so you can protect the Lily and tick up asymmetrically and try to get to alt? So I know Lily's a very strong card. So that is why I chose to play 1 less Lily. And instead of Lily, I decided to play Courser. So Grim tested this recently in September 2019, and I like the results. Burn is a top deck in the meta right now. And Courser is not only good against Burn for the life gain, it's also good in grindy matches because it allows us to take out those dead land draws. Also, we have shuffle synergy right here. We have 3 fields, 4 fetch. So there's 7 cards. Let's say we look at the top card, we don't like what we see, we don't need more lands, we don't need certain things. We can shuffle them away. Also, it can support having maybe multiple confidants on the field with the life gain. Because usually you don't want more than one, but if you have a source of life gain, like Ooze, Courser, Murderous Knight, Murderous Rider, I meant, might be able to support having 2 confidants on the field, draw 3 cards per turn. So, also, I took out Kalidas in the main board. So, alright guys, so let's take a look at where we put Kalidas. We put it in the sideboard instead now. So another reason for playing Courser, in my opinion, is the enchantment. We can grow Ooze. Tarmogoyf, having an enchantment type in the yard if Courser ever goes and bites the dust. So now, let's take another look at another difference that we have from Grim Flare. I took out one Questing Beast because it is a legendary creature. I am running one. And I don't want to have 2 legendary creatures in my hand. And the same theory, I don't want to play, I don't feel the need to play cards that are bad in multiples if there are so many choices. So what I have decided to do is play a Murderous Rider main. In my last video, top 3 cards in Throne of Eldraine for Golgari Midrange Modern, you'll see all the reasons why I really love this card. But time will tell, and I'm going to be playing a lot of games and update my opinion. I'm not strong-headed. I'm very open-minded. I look at the data. But from what I can see now, it really fits my playstyle. And I don't want to repeat things, so just go back to the last video, please. So, again, the same theory, Hex Drinker. Imagine having 2 on the field at the same time. You're gonna have 16 mana sinks. We already have a lot of mana sinks in this deck, in my opinion. I'm not saying Grim Flare is wrong, but this is just my own take, okay? So we have Ooze to eat stuff. That's a mana sink. We have Murderous Rider. That's 6 mana. Tireless Tracker Clues. Beast is a 4-drop. That's a lot of mana. And we got Castle, draw more cards. That's a mana sink. Field is kind of a mana sink. Well, not a sink, but, we always got ways to use the mana. And the Peatling kind of Stone Rains us, right? So, having 1 Hex Drinker is good. 2, you don't want 2 in your hand. Let's just say that. So, what I decided to do instead is put in a Bauble. So I just wanted to share with you guys some resources I use. This is MTG Top 8. So I've been looking at a rock list, and some of them have been doing, well, rock hasn't been doing too well recently, but I'm very dedicated to this archetype. And I believe that you can always get the wins if you make the right decisions. So there has been a bunch that has Bauble in the list and got some wins. So let's take a look here. Some even run 2. But anyways, what are some reasons to run Bauble? Well, first, it grows Goyf. That is amazing. Grows Tarmogoyf, okay? So I love that. And same reason as Courser, it is a way for us to kind of filter our top deck and kind of we can decide what to draw at the moment. We can fetch it away. We got 4 fetches and 3 Field of Ruins. So that is why I made these changes to my main board that differs from Grim Flare. So my sideboard is very different than Grim Flare's sideboard. again, I'm not saying mine is better or worse, but I'm the kind of guy who likes to have a variety of like a toolboxy sideboard, kind of have stuff that, have something for every occasion. So let's take a look here. What do you guys think so far? So Collective Brutality is just a very versatile card. Any X2 creatures, any aggro decks, control, any spells, decks. So it's just very versatile. We can bring it in a lot of the time. We can also look at Spellbomb, which is good against some of the graveyard decks that are still there. And the floors, we can at least draw a card. Oof is great. Oof and Plague Man is self-explanatory. At least one of. Damping Sphere is very good against Storm. Very good against Tron. So yeah, it's a very like silver bullet and only 2 mana. So I think it's nice to have one of. Weather the Storm is also very silver bullet. Imagine doing like this against Burn or in response to a Storm person doing Gutshot or Empty the Warrens. That's going to buy us a few more turns, at least. That's going to gain us like 45 life, and that's going to take them a while to kill us. So F-Mage is the only one that I don't really play one of, because I feel that land destruction gets exponentially better. So if you kill one of my lands, that's not going to slow me back that much. But if you kill 2 of my lands, that's a big issue. And if you kill 3 of my lands, that's crippling. Pulse. Pulse is great against opposing planeswalkers, against Empty the Warrens, those guys that go really wide with a lot of tokens, Lingering Soul tokens, Empty the Warrens. Murderous Rider, I explained in the last video, is very versatile, so we can bring it in a lot of the times. Not a lot of decks are playing Damnation these days, but I love it. It's a very silver bullet against tribal decks, goblins, merfolk, humans, spirits. They're not top tier, but they're still around. And you decide when to cast it, so you can time it, and it makes for some very interesting gameplays, holding some creatures into your hand, Kalidas is great against the remaining dredge decks out there still, and it can also be bought in against aggro. The lifelink is very good. So it's very versatile also. I'm just putting Questing Beast in main. These could be swapped in the future, I think, potentially. But I just want to test Questing Beast more for you guys. And as you can see, again, my theory here is a lot of one-ofs, because one of a certain threat, we kind of got the toolboxy effect with Bauble and Courser and then Fetch. Maybe we really want one of like a certain card. We can try to hope to hit it or fetch away a threat that's not as good or suboptimal. Kind of a toolboxy rock list here. And then, Vital Force. We are getting into, as Grimflayer said, a more mid-rangey, grindy, slower meta right now. So Vital Force, I was talking about how Vital Force and Cresting Beast kind of do the same thing, or good against like the same decks, grindy decks, planeswalker decks. But if we're against those decks, which are with both of these, that's going to feel great. And we'll test it out, guys. Let me know in the comments, during the gameplay, and even right now, we can. I will adjust the deck list as we move along. So I just want to go into, I had some comments on people asking me why we would play Damnation versus Languish. So I typed something for you for this. So let me pull that up right now. So Languish froze. Many of our creatures, except Bobby, can eventually survive a Languish, such as Goyf, a big Ooze, level 8 Hexy, a big Tracker. Also, we can get their indestructible creatures, such as they can protect with Boral's Charm in Burn, and Selfless Spirit in Spirits. Damnation Pros. You can kill opponents' big creatures in decks such as Eldrazi-tron, Mono Greentron, and in the mirror, Death Shadow, late game humans, late game hardened scales. Well, not even late game. They can move all their stuff and get it to a 5/5, sack all their creatures in response, right? Late game Merfolk, Amulet Titan. In fact, they can pump it out of the range. That would be hilarious. Also, it prevents regeneration from opponent. This is not as prevalent now, but some of the main cards that have regeneration in Modern are Elves, Kitchen Finks, Thrun the Last Troll, and Golgari Charm. So I'm pretty strongly for Damnation now. I tested Languish in around episode 6 to 13. You guys can take a look around that era. And I do find Damnation better because it's just nice to have a big panic button that you can just kill everything. And it's, it's okay, since we decide when to cast this spell, we can play around it. It's better to have the option to kill more of their stuff than to prevent us killing our own stuff, if that makes sense. I can prevent this by maybe playing Lily instead of Tracker, and then wait, and then wait till they overextend. Yeah, and I just want to talk a little bit about my previous list. I've been playing this list from episode around 15 up to right now, around 21. And let's take a look at some of the changes. I have found that on Nerf, if opponent doesn't remove your creatures, the floor is kind of bad. Imagine you draw no creatures and just unearth and nothing goes in the graveyard, and this is just stuck in hand, right? That being said, I'm not saying it's bad, but I think I'm gonna take it out of the deck just for now. I'm gonna take out one Tracker because I want to try those other threats that you see here. I want to try Crusting Beast, and so 2 is pretty good already. And imagine having 2 on the field. I always find it kind of an issue to have enough mana to crack all the clues anyways. So, again, it's open for debate. Also, Grimflayer talked about having 16 creatures. He said in a meta in Flux, it's good to have more bodies and attack and be more proactive instead of interactive when you don't know when the meta's so in flux, you don't know what you're dealing with, so just kill them, right? So that's why I'm playing 16 creatures as well. I was hoping to target that in my list. So let's see what else we did differently. This card same, Fado Push is the same. Confidant same, Ooze same, Goyf same. Same, this is the same as Grimflare. I took out the Last Hope because of Ren and 6 made the X1 creatures not as good. Also, the -2, if they don't remove our creature, it might not be that good. And, we might put her back in the future. But for now, I'm going to take her out of the deck completely. I've also looked at the MTG top 8. Not a lot of people are playing Last Hope. But I do love Last Hope, and we hope to play her soon again in the future. And yes. And yeah, we took out Kalidas into the sideboard. And then, as you saw, we took out one treetop for the new card, which is called Castle Lochtwain. Let's take a bit more of a look The sideboard is essentially the same. Took out Duress and Decay. 4. Knight. Murderous Rider. Zombie Knight. And Kalidas. Yep. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment. I hope you like this video. And I really look forward to playing the post Throne of Eldraine matches for you guys. I'm going to promise to have 2 videos every Friday morning for the rest of my life because I love Magic, and that's not going to change. So I hope you guys stay tuned to the channel forever, and we'll grow old together. We'll retire together. We will move to Florida or Thailand together, and we'll play Magic in a Playboy mansion. All right. Here we go. Here we go. To bed.